everyone, a big welcome back. My name is Nadia B. Welcome back to the Curator's Shelf, and good to see you all here. First and foremost, happy Halloween, or happy Samhain, as some people call it. It is the 31st of October, and it is really just a wonderful night, I think, in terms of a lot of the alignments astrologically and going on. And I know that there's a lot of talk about it. It is a full moon tonight. And I just wanted to say a big, happy Halloween to a lot of the people that are celebrating it today. I know some of us are in lockdown, so it's going to be difficult to go out and do all the fun stuff, whether it's party or trick-or-treating. But I still think it's a night where, you can just enjoy it with friends over online parties and stuff. And I think full moons are magical anyway, even just take a walk at night, and hopefully you can do that in the area that you're living in. For me, this week has been just, another week where where I live, we've gone into complete lockdown now. So it's been very heavy in some ways, but at the same time, it's moments like this which have always taught me something new. And I really just, spent this last week relying upon depending upon a lot of the spirituality and the tools that I've learned to use and build in through my life. And it's just been a week where, I've just kind of like reminded myself, of all the things that are beyond what's in the news in a way. Growing up, Halloween was always just for me a magical time. I remember being 8 or 9 years old and just, my imagination would fire up. And I'm born in Lancashire, and as probably many of you know, 1612 is the witch trial in Pendle, Lancashire. And from there, we actually then have the history of witch trials growing into the rest of the UK and then going over to the US. And if you ever want to know more about the history of that and how it all started and why it started, and I'm especially someone that's kind of like in love with the medieval period. So a lot of my historical, religious, theological, and mythological kind of like understanding and knowledge does come from that era, and before as well. But definitely that period of history is really, really special to me because of where I'm born, and my growing up, just knowing all the stories and reading about the history of it. And I also have some books and texts from that era, from around regarding that kind of like historical stories. So if you're ever interested, let me know, and I can definitely do a Curator's Shelf special on the Pendle witch trials. Just overall, Halloween has always been, I think, a fun night for me. I don't know why, in my imagination. And it's just kind of like, it's a time when, they say that it's the thinnest veil between kind of like the living and the dead. That's what some say. And I think it's kind of like I just see it as like a mark in the year where it's autumn in the northern hemisphere, it's spring in the southern hemisphere. It's autumn in the northern hemisphere, and it's just a time when kind of like we see death, or kind of like a mirror, an illusion of death. But actually for me, it's also kind of like sowing the seeds for the spring. And so I really love this time of year, and like many, I love like the colors that are out there. So moving on from that, given the fact that this was such a heavy week, I think for some of us, definitely, I live in Belgium, and so given the fact that we just had so much news coming in and so forth, I found myself at some times just feeling really kind of like, okay, what can I do to deal with this? And I journal, as many of you know, I am an avid runner, all of that stuff. But I found myself also at night needing to meditate. Well, I do that anyway, but I needed something extra. And of course, I use Tarot and Oracle decks recently in the last few months. They've been a really good source of comfort or just direction for me at times. And this week I turned to a deck that I'd picked up because of a deck mod, a deck modification that another tarot tuber had done. Her name is Boho Tarot, Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot. I'll link her deck mod below. She did this fantastic deck mod of an oracle deck, and the oracle deck that I'm going to talk about is this one, which is messages from your animal spirit guides by Stephen Farmer, sorry. And she'd done this fantastic deck mod of kind of like what not to do and what to do. And when she showed that, and I was like watching the modification of it, I myself became very intrigued with the deck itself. It's a mass market deck. I just want to check. Yep, it's definitely Hay House. Very affordable. I think it's around the 12, 13 euro mark or 14 euro mark, and something similar probably in US dollars. So very affordable and available on Book Depository and Amazon. But anyway, I got intrigued, and there was something about this deck that just made me feel like it has very soft energy. The other reason why I turned to this deck was because, tonight is meant to be a Taurus full moon. And I'm a Scorpio sun sign, but my opposite sign is Taurus, and my brother is a Taurus as well. And it's a very grounding energy. It's very grounding energy. Taurus is the second house astrologically, so we're concerned with them now with issues to do with wealth, material, property. I absolutely love Taurians. It's my opposite sun sign. But it's a house which is to do with one's own money, one's own possessions, assets, and so forth in the material world. It's an earth sign, very grounded. And, being the opposite sign to me, I'm always intrigued by it. And I have learned a lot from Taurians. I find that their ability to stay grounded and stay rooted is just phenomenal. It's a fixed sign. And tonight's full moon is Taurian, and it's meant to be very powerful. And astrologically, Uranus is in Taurus, and I do understand that Uranus being a planet of just sudden upheavals. The whole planet itself, by the way, rotates on its side, on its axis. So it being a planet of sudden upheaval within a grounded energy sign is just intriguing. And the Taurians are going through a very interesting period of their lives. I do know that for sure. They are definitely going through, depending of course on individual aspects of birth chart, but just some upheavals. And so yeah, I kind of like, I wanted to use the astrological aspects of tonight, and it also being All Hallows Eve, tomorrow being All Saints Day, as a way to tap into some kind of an earth energy, using Western astrology, of course. And so this deck for some reason appealed to me, and for the last few days I've been taking it out. And first of all, let me just show you. So it comes with a little guidebook, which is actually very rich, very, very well written. And then these are the back of the cards, and this beautiful stalk is at the back. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. A really nice musty antique yellow or orange, I don't know how else to put it. And the cardstock quality is pretty thick. It's a linen cardstock, very good quality. And I think, this is a very good example sometimes of mass market decks being affordable, yet just, the content is fantastic. I love this deck already, I'm going to say that. And then on top of that, the design is wonderful. The card quality is great. It's available mass market, very easy to get hold of. And sometimes I just think, that these are the things sometimes that make me feel like, there's something bright going on inside of me, because I think some of us, or I definitely need like something that's soft and yet affirmative and strong. That's the best way I can put it. And a deck like this for me is just great. It's an oracle deck, just to be very clear. So we have animal energies, and what you get on each side is you get kind of like, a picture, you get the actual animal itself, it tells you what it is, which for me is very helpful, and then you get kind of like a little caption underneath. So this is another one. So for example, this is the tiger, and underneath it says, you're being called upon to provide leadership, so trust that you're capable of doing so. And so yeah, it just has these little captions underneath. This is a beautiful ladybug here. Very simple and easy to use, very straightforward. And the guidebook itself is just, you know, again, very, very good at just, you know, giving us some information. So for example, I'm going to read one out to you in a moment. This is the unicorns. It is very beautiful. But again, you know, it just gives you just enough. You don't always need to use the guidebook. So this is the seagull, and underneath it says, now is the time for deep emotional healing. And so if you go to the guidebook, it just gives for each one of them a little bit of PQRS seagull. Just find it for you. Where is it? Here it is. It will give you just a little bit of information on that particular card that you can use, and it gives you even associations to do with that card. So for with the seagull, it would be associations: observant, swift, opportunistic, carefree, versatile. So yeah, you get a little bit of kind of like, you know, information with the energy of that animal that they've allocated, of course. But you know, again, I just find the images so soft and soothing. So I just wanted to say that this was the deck that I was using this week. The other thing that I've been doing as well to help me get through it is that every evening I've been just meditating for 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes with some sounds of the forest or sounds of water and so forth. You can find all of this very easily for free on YouTube, and then just doing a little bit of writing afterwards, and that's helped me to also just have a very calm, grounding energy. So yeah, so it's a very short video again this week, but given everything that we're going through, I just thought it would be nice to do a quick check-in. I've just got to highlight one thing that this week that's popped up on this shelf, and I find it funny. I sometimes move around my tarot and oracle deck cases, and then I realize that, you know, somehow they've ended up in a prized position for a reason. And this week the Llewellyn Tarot has been calling me. I haven't actually used it this week, but it's just been nice to have this really at full view for me as well, in my own home. This is a deck that goes back to Welsh mythology. The images are absolutely gorgeous. Again, it was a recommendation from Boho Tarot, from Dawn Michelle. I think it's one of her favorite decks, or kind of like, you know, one of the decks I think that she loves to go back to. So yeah, her soul deck, sorry, I should say. And so yeah, so I've basically been tapping into just some very grounding, strong but soft energy. I don't know how else to put it. And the Llewellyn Tarot, if anybody wants to see it again, just quickly show you some of the things that I think it might be helpful. Sorry, we've just got sunset going on here. Bear with me for a second. Might be helpful to switch on the light right above me. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so here we go. So this is, there you go, that's a little bit nicer actually. So let me just show you quickly some of the cards that we get from the Llewellyn Tarot, and here they are. So this is the inside of the box, as I've shown you before. And just a quick run through of this deck and some of the beautiful images. I think somebody already mentioned that after seeing this video, one of my videos on the Llewellyn Tarot, they were considering it. And if you are considering one of your first decks, or even if you've already got lots of decks but you don't have the Llewellyn, I definitely think it's worth an investment. It's approximately anywhere between 20 to 25 euros, something like that, which is, I think, USD, something similar. Mass market deck, published by, let me just check, Llewellyn, of course, sorry. And here are the images. And as you can see, just so beautiful, very, very soft. I don't know if that's coming out clearly. I mean, I love the tower here, absolutely. I mean, and I think I've already seen on images, photos of actual places in Wales where they've actually used that landscape and those specific castles and monuments to be inspired for the tarot, for this deck, sorry, as a source of inspiration. So yeah, this is the Llewellyn, and you know, again, this is kind of like, this is Wales, but being from Lancashire originally, and just, you know, having that very close tie to Cumbria for me, is just, it's just really, it's just really wonderful to have that connection with that part of England and Wales. So yeah, so I just wanted to show you this absolutely gorgeous images. But again, this is something I think I'm going to be using tonight and tomorrow. I don't always use tarot decks, honestly speaking, as tarot, which I know is going to cause some people to raise their eyebrows and go, well, that's not really tarot. I'm like, yeah, it isn't. I sometimes use them as more of an oracle energy. And that's why I'm very, very careful to say that for me, you know, that for some, tarot is a source of divination and they want to see into what's coming. For me, it's sometimes a source of, the best way I'm going to put it, of energy and connection and grounding. Those are the words I'm going to use. So yeah, so rather than using it as a magic 8 ball, let me put it that way, I use it more as just a way of what is it that I'm working with, what are the clues that I might be able to receive. For example, this is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is traditionally a card about charity, but also sometimes a little bit about misuse of power, because it can be a little bit about those that have giving it out to those who don't have. And there's for me, always the Six of Pentacles, a very strong feeling about that is that the person is standing over the children, dropping the coins into the children's hands. So there's a source of imbalance of power here as well with this Six of Pentacles. And I found that to be very interesting, you know. And for me, if I got this card today, I would kind of like use it as looking at, you know, she's got the scales, but the scales aren't equal. Like I mentioned before, the kids are sitting on the ground, they're holding out their hands. So they need, there's a bridge, but you know, it's almost a bit of an energy of kind of like needing and an imbalance of power here very clearly. Again, also the person has red robes on, and in the old days, you know, wearing red robes would be about a little bit about royalty, luxury, and you know, there is flowers there on the side, but you know, I don't know if the kids are selling those flowers or then they're allowed to sell them. I don't know. So there's a lot of things in this image that would make me sit there and think about the days that I've had recently. Have I encountered an imbalance of power? Am I waiting for money, but I feel like you know, I'm desperate for it in some ways, or I'm desperately needing it, or am I the one that's giving out the money? It could be the other way as well, and I'm using that as an imbalance of power. So, you know, these are just things that sometimes I can pick up from a card, and it doesn't mean that I need to go into a full front of kind of like combat or something, you know, as I see it. I don't even need a whole spread. One card is enough for me sometimes. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that sometimes how I can use images such as this to help me get grounded. So I hope that some of these things have been helpful for you today. I'm wishing everybody a very happy Halloween. In a few weeks, it's the Indian New Year, so that'll be something for me to celebrate as well. I absolutely love this time of year because traditionally it's when you know, I like putting up a lot of lights. I like going towards Christmas. It's like it's dark, but I love putting up lights and stuff. Obviously, this year is going to be different for most of us, I think, around the world, and so just wishing you lots of just kind of like grounded, positive, and calming, soothing energy for those who are watching this video, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Take care.